Good morning, universe. Nah, Earth. Will this ever get to the universe? Who knows? But one is for sure that I have this recorded and it will be posted online and forever until YouTube is gone. But I'm here live in my relative place of residence in the morning, early morning. Got to get back into the groove of things because I'm starting to get off of vacation, which I have a day, 2 days until I have to go back to work. But I'm taking this time to go ahead and spend time with you fellas. Hope that you're having a good day or a good week. I am. It's been a pretty restful week, and I would like to today start getting things done, getting ready for going back to work. And so that is a thing. So thank you for joining me on my journey for 365 days through the book of Proverbs. And currently we are on chapter 11 in Proverbs, still going. We have about a few more chapters before we get to chapter 12. But yeah, Proverbs 11 is um, been on my mind and on my heart and learning each day about things. And just remember that when we go over the Proverbs, it's have the baseline in mind, which you can read in the description, and having the baseline in mind, and then also knowing that these are guidelines and ideals that you may try to go ahead and do everything perfectly that it says in the Proverbs, but just note we are being sanctified every single day until the day we die, meaning we're not perfect. We are slowly becoming the image that God wants us to be in this life, but eventually we will meet him. And that's when perfection will be reached, when we finally get to see him face to face, face to face. Um, but we are always striving for the ideal, always getting closer and closer every single day. And one way to do that is to go ahead and just do your daily reads. That's one way of doing it. Read daily in the Bible, um, have conversations with people about God, pray, a couple things, meeting with brothers and sisters regularly, encouraging one another. Those are things that we should continually be doing weekly, if not daily. Reading the word in prayer for sure is something you should be doing daily. So, meeting with your community of believers is a thing. That's one way aspect of that is to go on Sunday mornings to a service or something. So, but that's not the only way, and that's another topic for another day. But let's go ahead and read Proverbs 11:21 to 22 in the ESV. Be assured, an evil person will not go unpunished, but the offspring of the righteous will be delivered. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without discretion. All right, let's go ahead and do our highlights for today. Um, the evil person, we're talking about the evil person will not go unpunished. The offspring of the righteous be delivered. So this is a comparative, like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without discretion. I'll do that. So interesting verses. Yeah, evil person. We could go back. You look at if you're here in the previous videos, you know that the evil person is a person who lives a life that is not good, a destructive life that not only does it destroy themselves, but it destroys relationships and the people around them. Deceitful, lying, words that come out of their mouth are also destructive. Actions are destructive. And so, um, they will be punished eventually over time. Maybe not now while they're doing it. They may get away with it for a while, but there will come a time in the future, in this life or the life to come, that they will be punished for the actions they have. And God has said somewhere in the Bible, just this is mine. What does that say? Justice? Where does God say in the Bible, justice is somewhere? Deuteronomy, beloved, I will vengeance is mine. Vengeance is mine is the word. Vengeance is mine. When you are hurting God's people, when you are doing things that are not righteous and destructive to other people, those nope, God will go ahead and repay for what is due you. So be aware of that. But the people who are righteous, who are we talked about this following the pillars of wisdoms, the baselines and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they'll be saved. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be saved materially and everything. I'm talking about this again. We talk about this again. This this wealth that is eternal, relationships, spiritual, and all that kind of stuff. And I know that for those of you who are struggling material wise with money and everything, that the and I can't relate. The closest I guess I could relate where I felt a lot of stress with money was when I was younger, early college years, where I was pinching pennies, is the words I could say. I would go around looking for quarters, and I would try to find $5 and change just so that I could go ahead and buy some gas for my Volkswagen, 73 Volkswagen Bug. And I would go to a restaurant where they have 99-cent burgers and stuff like that. But I always had food at home, and I could always eat food at home. But if I was going out, I didn't have any money. I was working hard. I was getting a lot of stuff, but eventually, I grinded it out, and I was able to get a real job, and now I could take care of my family. So, but I was stressed, but in my mind, there was always a hope for the future, and I was, I guess, delivered out of my poverty, my own personal poverty. But yeah, I can't say that I empathize completely because I never been in a situation where I'm trying to find a place and food and everything for my children. It was always for myself. So I guess God allowed me to not have a family or made me not have a family until I was able to be financially able to. And for those of you who are in situations, um, yeah, there are a lot of resources out there to try to get help for you and stuff like that. So my heart goes out to you and stuff like that. Anyways, but whatever the case is, for those of you who are trying really hard to follow God and seek wisdom and do all of the things in the baseline and stuff like that, yeah, in the future, your children will be delivered if you're raising them really well and doing the best that you can. Um, your efforts will not go unrewarded. So hang on there, my brothers. Continue to press on. Verse 22 is the one that caught my eye a lot because the absurdity of what it looks like. So, if you know anything about pigs, if you don't know what a pig is, look it up on Google. If you've never seen one, look it up on Google. Try to see what a pig looks like. Note if you eat bacon, pork, ham, any of those things, that is what a pig is. Now, in Bible times, a pig is also seen as a unclean animal. I think it has something to do with the cloven feet or something like that. We could go somewhere in the Bible. I think it's Leviticus or something about rules concerning what to eat. But it has been said that pigs are considered a dirty animal. Now they are generally dirty animals if you ever see them. They They are at the farm. They usually have the pig pen. And actually, that's a phrase. Your room looks like a pig pen, is because it's a messy place where a pig stays. It's usually muddy, and I guess there is a physical reason why they would kind of rub their bodies on mud, probably to cool them off since they're out. And they don't have a lot of hair. They do have a thick hide or thick skin, thicker than humans. But in general, they're dirty animals, and you could feed them whatever, and they'll eat it. Which is probably why they're unclean. They just eat whatever. And what you eat is kind of a little spiritual because the things you put in your mouth kind of has an effect on you. And so that's a spiritual thing also. And so you have to be careful of what you put in your mouth. And so putting dirty things into your mouth makes you unclean also. So so think of a kid, the pig snout is like they have hair. Let's get the visual. Let's get the video visual. Let's do this. Let's get the visual. There it is. See that little see, there's a pig. If you've never seen a pig before, there's a pig. It's a cute little pig. But here's a good one. See how it has all the dirt and stuff like that? Here's a pig pen. Um, here's a little dirty thing. They just eat. You just give feed them whatever, and they they eat it. Now notice how they have that snout. Now think pig with a gold ring in its snout. There it is. See, there's a ring. There's a ring. Ring. Yeah. No. Okay. Now, please note, a gold ring is a precious um ornament that you could have, jewelry that you could have, and gold is not cheap. And so to have a precious metal or jewelry in a pig snout is absurd. It's it's like why um do you have something beautiful in something that is unclean and kind of ugly? Uh, uh, Although I did find a pig that was kind of cute looking and stuff like that, but in general, they are dirty animals and are seen as dirty animals, and so they're using that kind of comparison to a beautiful woman. I guess that's a gold ring without discretion. Now, discretion here. Let's go ahead. Put up, is the quality of having discernment and good judgment, especially in one's conduct and keep. Okay, so discretion is your ability to have good judgment, uh, which I just looked up and everything like that. When please have good discretion is when you look at a situation and you are socially capable of being able to respond appropriately in the given situation and using discretion. For instance, if you're using discretion is uh, say like you have certain information that someone in confidence has given you and you are a trustworthy individual that they came up to you and went ahead and kind of gave you that information. Now, another person, another party, uh, is talking about the same content in which you received that information. Now, discretion would be you would not give that information, um, or use the information that you given in a way that doesn't reveal that that the answer or something that you're not supposed to give. Whatever the case, use discretion. As a teacher, I have to use discretion a lot in the classroom because in my unfiltered, youthful, mean mind, there's a lot of judgments and words that could come out of my mouth in relation to how kids act and stuff like that. So I have to use discretion and pick my words appropriately or specifically in a way that doesn't offend another person when I have to, especially when I'm reprimanding someone or exhorting, whatever the case, I have to use discretion. This is with any situation, right? You have to use discretion as to not offend or hurt another person. Um, like yeah, to not hurt them. And so I just want to keep that in mind. And so a woman who has no discretion, and I could go back to what verse 9, chapter 9, chapter 10, talking about the prostitute or the wayward woman, the woman who sells her body, the woman that um we could commit to adultery with and stuff like that. That's not discretion. Okay. So using wise judgment, using wisdom and stuff like that. A woman who does not have that stuff is like a pig who has gold in their nose, beautiful ornament on them. So on the outside, you see the ring and it looks beautiful, but on the inside, they're actually a pig. So God wants us. The Proverbs is trying to tell us here. Solomon is trying to tell us here is that don't always look at the outward appearance. Look at the inward, because it doesn't matter how beautiful you are. Once you open your mouth and reveal your heart and your heart and your mind and the things that you think about and the way you are will reveal how ugly you actually are, like a pig wallowing in the mud. It's disgusting. Um, so be aware of that, my brothers. That yes, someone may be beautiful, but look at their heart, look at their mind, and be aware of that. At this point, you're just using their body for your own base um, desires. Okay, but I don't think you're supposed to be going around sleeping around and having sex with whoever, anyways. So be be very have a lot of discretion when it comes to spending time with someone of the opposite sex or in general. And that goes with life and stuff like that. Don't fake sincerity. Be sincere, be honest, have integrity and everything like that. Um, be a man and woman of good character. Right. And that's the way God wants us to be. So yeah, you can get to know as many people as you want, but talk to them, get to know them always before having deeper or relationships with them. Because you'll know. Even though they put their best foot forward and stuff like that, it would be revealed what kind of person they are. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Hope you learned something. Like I have. Don't be a pig. Have a good day. See you guys next time.